Geeks and Geekettes, welcome to an express episode of Chris's Custom Collectables, and today we're going to be pimping out the McFarlane Toys Hazmat Suit Batman. So this particular figure is based off the Justice League Amazo virus storyline. As soon as I saw him, I absolutely fell in love with the design. It's just such a badass look, but obviously it's lacking in paint and details, but the overall blank canvas, hard edges are all there, so I'm really excited to get cracking on this guy. So in terms of the visor, I'd love to have it broken because I've seen a shot on Google of the visor actually broken on his respirator mask, exposing his face. It's kind of warped from how the plastic is on the visor. I just want his face on show. It's Batman, for God's sakes. So we have an array of paints that we're going to be using on this figure today that range from acrylics, oils, and also some good old cheeky rub and buff. So with that being said, let's get to it. Oh, you better believe it's time for some shitty commentary. So I'm just going to grab the entire figure and dunk it in some hot water. Now, you don't want it too hot, but this is just going to soften up all those joints so we can disassemble the figure with ease and take it out and give it a nice dry on a tea towel there. So there are some bits of water that will sneak into certain parts that you don't want leaking out later. Now I'm just going to grab a Stanley knife and cut those two pipes off at the front and disassemble the figure. And it's a standard McFarlane toy, so it has the diaper, the limbs and whatnot, and just very carefully removing that plastic screen on his arm, wrist, and also the visor. Now I'm just going to grab myself a burnt sienna acrylic and water it down just with a little bit of water, completely eyeballing it and coating the entire figure with this. So even the armor pieces that are going to be dry brushed later, by doing this, not only does it matte the figure, but it just gets into all the nitty gritty parts. And this is what we're going for in terms of an aesthetic, Geeks and Geekettes, just nitty gritty and just highlighting all the beautiful detail. And I stumbled upon this totally by accident with that death metal Batman custom collectible, but you can see the stark difference there from beginning to finish, just how it mattes everything. Now I'm just going to grab a bit of black shoe polish, and this is the only time I'm using shoe polish, believe it or not, and that's for the belt. And I'm not going to dab away the excess, just let it get into all that beautiful detail. And grab myself a nice Liquitex Ivory black and just repaint the neck and just clean up certain bits of the cowl, but also go back over the cowl with that watered down burnt sienna and also on the neck area. Now I am grabbing a watered down yellow student acrylic. Any yellow student acrylic is fine, and doing a wash pass of yellow and then a wash pass of red, much in the vein of the Pattinson faceplate that I did many months ago. So it just gives a bit more depth to the skin color. And in terms of the stubble, it's just shoe polish, just with a little bit of water added to it, as you can see right there, just to darken that part of the skin to make it look like a nice 5 o'clock shadow. Now I'm going to grab a Duplicolor Anodized red. This is a car spray paint that I use for fake blood a lot, and just a nice little trickle coming out of his mouth, seeing though the visor is going to be broken. Now I'm just going to re-grab that burnt sienna, but not watered down this time, and just do all the accessories, buckles, straps, and certain ribbed parts of the suit that I feel like could be highlighted and just breaks up the monotony of everything. Now for the wrist com piece, I'm just using a Lumiere silver and then also a blue acrylic. We also have a green acrylic, an orange acrylic, and at the very bottom of it, a red acrylic. Just all student acrylics you can get from Bunnings. The brand I use is Leni, and they're dirt cheap as well and go a long way. Now I'm just going to pop that screen protector back in and then glue it in place with some cheap and nasty. But for now, we've got some old brass and pewter Lumiere. Now I'm taking a bit of creative liberty here because I know the Biohazard insignia on his chest isn't this color, isn't a gold, but I wanted to make it gold. Again, just to break up the monotony of the suit. I think it worked out pretty well. Now as for the pewter, again, much like the burnt sienna, it's just to highlight and cover certain parts like rivets and those canisters there that are in his drop holster. But now we're going to move on to dry brushing the armor pieces, and that of course is going to be using our old mate rub and buff, silver leaf rub and buff for that matter, and dragging it over all the armored areas. So we obviously have the boots, we have the knee protectors, we've got the shoulder pads, and see right there just how it highlights the boots and all that hard edge. I just love it. It's so satisfying to do this stage of a custom collectible. And also the shoulder pieces there just really have that hammered look applied to all these pieces, and that's why rub and buff is just so easy to work with. Even on his oxygen tank there, you can just see that hammered finish on the surface. I absolutely love it. Now I did put the figure back together and I went in with a Naples yellow hue Winton oil color, and this I got from the Pattinson suit, and this just helps with soiling, staining, and just highlighting certain details on the suit and also the tank. Just bit of wear and tear, you know, bordering on the edge of rust and stuff like that. Now with the visor, I just got my rotary tool with my diamond cutter and just bored out a hole in the visor, and then went in with one of my hobby files and got all the jagged edges and made it look like the screen and glass had essentially shattered and cracked away from his face. And now I'm just popping the tank back in and also gluing the pipes back onto the front of his torso, and also popping that visor back inside the cowl. Now to seal this up, I'm using a Rust-oleum chalked matte clear, which is just incredible and won't make the figure tacky at all. And there you go, geeks and geekettes. The McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Hazmat Suit Batman is done and dusted. This is a very quick and easy custom collectible, but it was so fun to do, and it's a good way to kill time in the afternoon. So with that being said, wherever you are in the world, please have yourselves an absolute cracker of a day. Hope you're well, hope you're happy, be merry, be silly, and until next time, geeks and geekettes, please always remember, cosplayers do it best.